If you know my track record, that's what I do every day.
Nkosinathi Shazi, Power News, Boksburg.
And finally, in news further afield, Middle East tensions are rising as fighting spreads across the region, raising fresh concerns over global energy supplies. Iran's aligned Houthi rebels have killed at least 30 Yemeni government soldiers in attacks on military camps and have also shelled Saudi Arabia's Najran province, injuring at least 11 civilians. Saudi Arabia says it is preparing for possible coordinated attacks on its territory. Meanwhile, the US-mediated talks between Israel and Lebanon have resumed in Rome despite renewed cross-border fighting, but no breakthrough has been reached on expanding Israeli troop withdrawals from southern Lebanon. Uncertainty over negotiations to reopen the Strait of Hormuz have also pushed oil prices higher as markets fear possible disruptions to global energy supplies. Here's a political analyst from Lebanon, Jed Fayyad.
Unfortunately, until now, Lebanon did not gain any good point regarding regarding the talks in Rome or with the Israelis. All what we could achieve was the ceasefire. It's not a full ceasefire. The Israelis are bombing every day in the south and are invading more regions. They are not retreating from any of the occupied regions.
Well, on that note, let's take a look at your financial indicators. The rand is trading at 16 rand 17 cents to the US dollar, 21 rand 82 cents to the pound sterling, and 18 rand 68 cents to the euro. Gold is trading at $4,352.26 per fine ounce, while Brent crude oil is at $83.36 a barrel. And now for a look at tomorrow's weather for Gauteng. Temperatures will range between 5 and 23 in Johannesburg, 6 and 23 in Tshwane, and Vereeniging will see temperatures ranging between 3 and 22 degrees Celsius. If you missed it, let's recap the top story in Power News at this hour. The man who killed Warwick Stock, popularly known as DJ Warris, has been sentenced to 25 years in prison, this after pleading guilty to murder. Now, Armindo Pacula admitted that he carried out the killing for payment as part of a plea and sentence agreement with the state.
Taken to your roads and your power traffic on the N4 in both directions towards the Donkerhoek Plaza. There's heavy traffic due to roadworks. On the N1 northbound ahead of Sefako Makhatho Drive, anticipate queuing traffic with a 25-minute long delay. Eskom Drive northbound ahead of the Moord Street exit. Slight congestion there with a 10-minute long delay. You can anticipate some queuing traffic in Midrand on the N1 northbound towards the New Road exit. Then 3 southbound between the Galulis interchange and the Geldenhuys interchange. There's queuing traffic. Add 10 minutes to your travel time.
Power News. Power 98.7. Now we're talking.
Joining me this evening is someone who knows exactly what it means to break barriers, challenge limitation, and redefine what is possible. It's none other than Kgothatso Montjane.
Thank you, Mediale. And a very welcome to our power listeners. I know you are normally used to hearing Baring Batu Courtiers, your one and only BBK, in this space and hour. But this evening, we are stepping in. We are taking over Power Sports Extra as part of Power FM 987 Women Campaign. So we will be on your driving seat tonight, and bear with us.
Tune in from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. this evening. We are bringing you conversation that celebrate women in sport, the athletes, leaders, coaches, administrators, and game changers who continue to inspire and create opportunities for the next generation.
We know sport to be so much more about what happens on the scoreboard. Behind every victory, every medal, and every achievement, there is a journey filled with sacrifice, discipline, and resilience. Also determination, so it doesn't come easy. There's always the work in the background.
That's true, Khutazo. And tonight we want to explore these stories, We want to talk about the growth of women in sports. I mean, this subject, it touches me because I'm one of those women. The challenges women face in the sporting space, the importance of creating opportunities for a young girl. That is one thing that is very important, to make sure that this young girl gets opportunities and access. We can continue building a future where women are empowered to participate and succeed. Forward with the woman.
In Bogota. We have a fun-filled, packed conversation with different guests today. We will also be having conversations around finding your passion, breaking stereotypes, and using sport as a tool to build confidence, leadership, and change.
Well, so whether you are an athlete, a sports fan, a parent, encouraging a young girl to get involved in sports, or someone who believes in the power of sports to transform lives, stay tuned with us. I mean, sports unite people. That's what it's all about.
This is Power Sport Extra, a special edition 987 Women Campaign edition. We are ready to get into the conversation, and our studio lines 0861 987 000, on Twitter at PowerFM 987, the show hashtags, hashtag Power Sports Extra, hashtag 987 Women, on Facebook, Power FM 98.7, our WhatsApp line 083-303-7093.
And our frequencies, Khutazo, are in Pretoria, Johannesburg 98.7, in Johannesburg South, West Rand 103.6, Vereeniging 104.5. East Rand and Ekurhuleni 107.2, and on DSTV audio channel 889. Online streaming www.power987.co.za.
I remember Mom and the love that she gave. Needed by her bedside, I can still hear Mama say, the people are depending on you, Shirley. Don't you let them down. I remember Mama in a happy way. Together.
Kotaso, it's about a woman for you to know. And I think it's a topic for another time. And, you know, looking at how we as women, making sure that these young children, they go and participate on sports. Well, that's a topic for another time. Coming up on Power Sports Extra, we have a special conversation celebrating women in sport, the challenges they face, and the work that needs to be done to create more opportunities for next generation of female athletes. Tonight, we are looking beyond the sporting field and having honest conversation about the realities women are facing, girls in sports, from access to opportunities. I mean, access is very, very important. Representation and safety to the barriers that still prevents many young girls from participating and reaching their full potential. We will also focus on the importance of giving back, the art of giving. We're talking about that to young sports girls through initiatives such as menstrual health campaigns, because something as simple as access to proper menstrual support can make the difference between a girl staying in sports or being forced to step away. Imagine not being able to participate or play netball just because you don't have access to a simple thing like a sanitary pads. We will explore what it means for a woman to lead in sports while balancing other responsibilities, including family life, motherhood. How do women navigate leadership position while also managing demands of being a full-time mother? We're talking about me. We're talking about single parents, you know, that are in sports, but we'll hear that at a later stage. Kotaso, what do you think?
Yeah, being a woman, it's a full-time job.
Yeah.
I have to say, and we will also be talking about, you know, representation. I, for one, I mean, I play sports like tennis. There's not many of us or people of color or women of color that you see really, you know, playing tennis at a highest level.
That's true.
This is why young girls need to really see women succeeding in sport. So when girls see women breaking barriers, leading teams and competing at the highest level, it really shows them that they too can dream bigger. And as we continue our conversation, we will unpack the challenges women face in sport. You know, that's the hardest, you know, part of our life as women in sport. I, for one, I'm still an active athlete, and there's so many challenges that I really face. But, you know, we'll be talking from limited access and safety concerns to leadership opportunities, media coverage, breaking barriers in traditionally male-dominated sporting spaces, and the impact of gender-based violence, because we encounter young girls not being able to take part in sport because they really don't feel safe. So it will really be, you know, important for us to really touch, you know, gender-based violence topic. These are important conversations as we work towards playing sports more inclusive, accessible, and welcoming women and girls across South Africa. Stay with us. This is Power Sports Extra.
Stay tuned. We have a call on the line, and I see it looks like it is Bareng Batu. Gorgeous. We are taking your job. How are you?
Good evening, ladies. Still
Good
very
evening.
black and proud, and no plans of changing anytime soon. You know what? This is a classic way of firing someone on air. You guys have just sent me on a long sabbatical. I have to go away and think about what to do next, because I think right now the show is in warm and wonderful and amazing voices. Good evening to you, my sister Mami, as well as my dear sister Khutato. You guys are doing something wonderful. There is a reason why we, as men, as boys, understand the fact that we come from women. We are sons of mothers. We are husbands of wives. We are fathers of daughters and the brothers to sisters. So it is without any shadow of doubt that we acknowledge and appreciate that the role you women folk of our land are playing in the field of sports. We're talking here about women like our wonderful tennis star that you are with there, Mami. We're talking about our netball Proteas and all the girls who participate and the boys and men who participate in the sports of netball. But this is about women. We're talking here about the smiling runner, someone the craziest moving from Maritzburg to Durban or Durban to Maritzburg. I'm talking about Helda Steyn, the Comrades Marathon winner, Two Oceans Marathon winner as well. We're talking about all the wonderful women who are flying the South African flag in Morocco. As we speak, they are going to be playing against Morocco in the quarterfinal in the very same Rabat capital city where they beat them to lift their only AWAFCON trophy. Here is Banyana. So to have you guys taking charge and taking care of things today, all I need to say is, Wathinta Bafazi, Wathinta Mbokodo. The girls are doing it for themselves. Keep rocking, my sisters.
Oh, thank you very much.
Wonderful, power women.
Thank you, BBK. Relax. We're not about to take your job.
Oh, no one.
So don't worry about that. We are just here to showcase the multi-talent that we have.
No, please do. I've got bills to pay. You can't fire me, right?
Yeah, no,
Enjoy,
that's true.
sisters.
No, we
have a wonderful show.
Yes. Oh, thank you very much for the support as well. That was BBK with us.
We also have Jethro Alex on our line. Welcome, Jethro. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly and not butchering.
You got it right, ma'am. You got it right. Good afternoon, ladies.
Good afternoon, Jethro.
Even though it's evening, I just want to take this opportunity to thank Power FM. I mean, our mother, a platform.
Mama.
I mean, it's a women's month. I mean, I think even it's not enough. They should have made the whole August for Mama, but to drive a radio.
Yes, it is. It is like that.
I mean, that's where now at least I'm relaxed. I told myself the whole week I'll be listening to Power FM. And another thing, man, I just want to say, man, those who've got powers, we need to man too. I mean, to run this thing as sports. I mean, last time I was so disappointed where I see Banyana playing. On other hands, there's Ama Awards. I said, what is this? And it shows me some people that are not taking Mama sports so serious. And I can tell you, I mean, but what's about Jessica Motaungo Chiefs? She's doing great.
Yes, that's
definitely, definitely.
They're doing great, and they're representable so much well. I mean, with tennis, we really see Mama Batorana at tennis court Momo Alexander, so that going to this wrong, but can tennis because some of us, we didn't even see there was no a black child who was playing tennis. We only noticed that at a later stage. But I just want to take this opportunity for Mama keep on moving, keep on driving, and let's support Banyana tomorrow at 10 o'clock.
Onward, forward, and upward we go. Pambili, Bafazi, thank you.
Thank you. And I think credit to Power FM to consistently every year making sure that they give women a platform. Because as we all know, like women, you put women in the forefront, things moves.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's true, Kotazo. These opportunities, we value it because our voice matter
the most. Livwani in Rustenburg, welcome.
Numadegwana
abu devo vuani.
Hey.
Ando. Ando boza with the mandiale and askutata there. Are you Mama are rocking, and I just want to say that our BBK wherever he is shaking. Something else also. And by the way, 11 today's her birthday. She plays hockey.
Oh,
and
nice.
Maybe just a tip, because these kids when they're playing hockey up until school level, what is it that the support from my side that I can do to support her to end up maybe playing for the national team? Because I'm always encouraged to say, look at the sport. At least with Super Sport now, they've got dedicated channels for these cool tournaments and stuff and league. So maybe from yours, just to say this is what I will do. But the other thing is I think for people to, young kids or maybe a raw talent, I think you don't stand a good chance if you are from a rural area and stuff. But what is it that can be done in order for those kids or raw talent to be unearthed so that they got the opportunities like this, not the people who are maybe in a so-called former model C schools or those schools who are privileged. Now, thank you. I'll listen on the radio. Thank you. No.
Oh, thank you, Livuani. You know, the most important thing is these kids, you need to be a present parent. That's number one, a present, supporting parent. And your daughter needs to go through the ranks, play in school first, and then at a later stage, when they are 15, 16, then join a club. You have to play community sport as well, because it's important. That is where a club will take you to be part of the district structure, the provincial structure, as well as a national level. That's where talent is identified, and your child will be able, to be recognized if she does have that kind of a talent. I would believe that I did answer on that. We also have Silo from Mamelodi. Silo, how are you?
I'm good, and you, my sister?
I am superb. This is Power FM Extra.
Okay, cool. Man, can I have one challenge? My challenge is, I think women are not supporting each other to the fullest. Because when you check the numbers, apparently they said Basadi are more than men. And like a million or two.
Yes.
Then now here comes the question. If Basadi is so, why are we struggling with women to be in power? Because with numbers and with a democratic dispensation that we are having today, you can just outnumber men. Simple as that. So it basically means that women supporting each other is very little. Because you should, according to the numbers that you have as in women at hand, then it says women are not using the numbers at their disposal. Because you check, corrupt. All sorts of things. Very few women. So it says women need to stop crying, say, hey, we are not being given that, we are not. We can easily just eat it.
Well, Silo, we still have to pay the bills, but yeah, we will give you our comment after the break.
Momentum is back with season 8 of She Owns Her Success. This year's theme, Her Success Has a Number, unpacks how most financial goals don't fall short because we lack ambition. They fall short because they're too vague. Register now for the workshop on 15 August 2026 at momentum.co.za and get expert advice to help you define your number. Join the conversation online using hashtag She Owns Her Success. Momentum, your journey to success. Momentum is part of Momentum Group Limited and authorized and registered credit provider.
The 2026 987 Women of Vision.
Power 987 celebrates extraordinary women leaders in society.
You're listening to 987 Women.
Celebrating incredible women of vision.
Remember, our studio line is 0861 987 000. We are also on Twitter at Power FM 987. Our show hashtags, hashtag Power Sport Extra, hashtag 987 Woman. Also on Facebook, Power 98.7. Our WhatsApp line 083 303 7093. Abu Diselo in Mamelodi, just to give you a bit of a comment on what you were saying. I mean, I for one, I beg to differ because my success has been supported by women. You know, when my career was about to fade, it's women who really came together to make sure that I keep playing tennis. You know, so. Remember, women were subjected to stay in the kitchen, so they might not be in the forefront, they might not be in the limelight. It might look like women are not supporting each other. Remember, we are still fighting a battle of women being given opportunities to be in leadership. Or what do you think about that, Mami?
No, that's true, Kotal. So I mean, I am leading #1 women's sport, and I know better that it's a team sport. And it's where women are playing netball and supporting one another. So even in the leadership position, we support and uplift each other when it comes to that. So definitely, it's up to an individual whether you want to step forward or not. But we have Tate Lucas from Centurion. Tate Lucas, how are you?
Hi, our president of one of the biggest sports.
Hello, yes.
And our Paralympian hero there, Kotatso. How are you, my lady?
We are good, thank you, Lucas. Hope you are having a good evening.
I'm fine, man. I've got a lot of things, but I just want to sum them up for the sake of time, you know. Yeah, maybe let me start with you, our president of Netball SA. I know programs are in place now. And some of these programs, I can see they are bearing fruit. And I can see that there's a serious progress in terms of breaking through at the international level. We can compete with the powerhouses of netball in the world, like in UK, Australia. We can compete with those two countries. And I can see there's a country here around Africa in our region, which is Malawi, which I fear already they can overtake us one day based on what their performance as we speak. I want to know your programs based on the regions. How far are you? Because it seems as if many players, they start showing up when they went to the institutions which are having sports science, which have good facilities, like the University of Pretoria, Stellenbosch, and the like. In terms of the community participation, it seems as if we have a long way to go. And I want to know the structures, how the structures how do you put your structures in terms of netball? Because based on divisions, I don't see junior leagues in terms of netball. Can you maybe brief us how far are you in terms of bringing in junior leagues in our communities in order to develop young ladies? Because netball is not for the sake of young ladies. Also, there's young boys that want to play netball. That's all I can say.
That's true.
In terms of the junior leagues, how far are you guys? Because the senior leagues, I can see it happening there. The junior leagues, how far are you guys?
Thank you, Ntate Lucas. We definitely have leagues happening in schools as well as at community level. We have 52 districts, within South Africa where netball is playing, and we have our under 19 that are participating. We also have our under 21. Right now, as we speak, we are in Cape Town. We are playing the SPAR under 21 and senior championships. So districts are running their own league. We have provincial super leagues as well, and we have a national league where even junior players are participating on that. So definitely netball, there are a lot of programs that are happening. And, it's a pity because we have to go and buy because it's now a break time, but we will answer further on that. But definitely netball is going upwards, onwards, and forward.
This Women's Month, Power 987 proudly presents Women of Vision, a celebration of women whose leadership continues to shape business, government, society, and our nation. Join us from the 6th to the 7th of August as Women of Power take over the station. Hashtag 987. 987 Women of Vision is proudly brought to you in partnership with the South African National Defence Force, the Department of Economic Development, Momentum, and the Department of Human Settlements. Hashtag 987 Women of Vision. Now we're talking. Power 987 celebrates women who lead with vision.
987 Women of Vision. Now we're talking.
It's just after 6:30 right here on Power Sports Extra. I am Mami Diale, joined by Kotatso Monjani, as we continue with our special 987 Women Campaign edition. For our first conversation, we are looking at an important issue affecting young girls in sports, period, and poverty. Sports is more than competition. Really. It builds confidence, discipline, creates opportunities for young girls. But for many, access to basic menstrual hygiene products remains a barrier, forcing some to miss training, matches, and important development opportunities. Tonight, we unpack the impact of period and poverty on girls in sports, more specifically those, banyana, we're talking about netball, we're talking about hockey, the importance of breaking the stigma around menstruation, and how initiatives like the SPA period and poverty campaign are helping ensure girls have the support they need to participate with confidence. Joining me is none other than Me Mpudi Maubani. She's the Chief Marketing Officer from SPA. This is a very, very, person who is campaigning for period and poverty. Osimpudi, how are you?
Good afternoon to you and good afternoon to the listeners of Power FM this afternoon.
Oh, thank you very much for giving us your time. Just to get right into it, Osimpudi, can we talk about period and poverty? What exactly are we referring to, and why is it still such a major issue?
The campaign that was started by SPA is actually trying to bring the confidence that is actually lost, the dignity that is fading within young women and girls as a result of lack of access to sanitary products, lack of access to menstruation items that are required when women are on those days within the month. So a research that was conducted, Memami, came with the results, shocking results actually, that are suggesting that closer to 7 million young girls and women in the country do miss out on opportunities as a result of lack of access to sanitary towels. So as a business, especially as a responsible business and a retailer that is closer to the communities that we serve, we decided we need to do something about this particular issue, particularly when you look at the mother figure and young girls and the partnership that we do have with the likes of NSA to say we cannot look away when young talent, young women are affected by something that they don't even choose. Yes. It's not out of options that you will decide as a woman that you want to go on your period. The sanitary products are expensive as it is. And to think that on top of that, there's still people who can't afford to buy sanitary towels, and then they miss on class days, they miss on opportunities that they deserve to be at, they lack access. Also, affordability is a major issue. And then we decided, you know what, let's challenge ourselves as a business to say, let's say if we can call on our friends and partners and say, together, let's end period poverty by the year 2030.
Okay.
Hello, Ausimpudi,
Hello.
here. And for me, we understand sport has the power to transform lives. It builds confidence and discipline and leadership skills and creates opportunities for young people to develop, personally and professionally. But I was wondering, what are some of the biggest challenges young girls face when they do not have access to menstrual products?
Young girls, when they don't have access to sanitary towels, they stay back. And it's not only the issue of access, Kotato. One of the major issues is the issue of stigma that is associated with women when they are on their period. So one of the bigger issues and campaigns that we are driving within the SPA family is the educational campaign of our young boys in terms of their behavior when they experience a young girl who's on their period, either in class, in a workplace, at the gym, at practice for the sporting properties, how you should behave, what are the steps that you should be taking, how can you participate, how can you support a young girl, a neighbor who is in need of sanitary towels. And what does it mean? How, women should also step forward to let the people know this during this period, this is how they feel. This is what is required out of them, so that other partners can meet them halfway with regards to what they actually need. So one of the other burning issues is women who actually miss on these opportunities in the boardroom. Automatically, it's seen as they are not interested. This one is forever not coming to work. She's failing to attend meetings. So people don't even know in the workplace that we go through that period wherein some people even end in clinics, in hospitals, at the doctors because it gets severe, it gets painful. You go moody and. So we need support in total from the workplace, inside the classroom, inside the coaching clinics that our netball people are doing to empower our young girls so that they can step into the level of their confidence to understand that this is just a natural thing that I'm going through, and I need to be vocal about it so that people can understand what I'm going through and what kind of support I need, and so that I can work with other people to actually address that particular issue, because it sets you up as a failure when it's something that is so natural going on in your body.
And we understand the issue is not only about providing the sanitary products, but it is also about dignity, confidence, and opportunity. When girls have access to the resources they need, they are more likely to attend school, participate in sport, and engage with their peers.
It's actually scary, Kutato. One woman was actually reading us a statistic to say that if you can check the number of young girls who actually passed matric with flying colors, and those who actually pass out of university having excelled. And then you check at the number of these girls currently in the boardrooms, in the center stages. There's still a gap there. So it just shows, we're not saying in total the issue is access to menstrual products, but the issue of stigma, the issue of dignity, this thing, when it is damaged, it can go a long way in terms of your self-confidence and how you show up and how you present yourself. For somebody who actually since laughed at you in a classroom because they spotted a dot, they spotted a dot on your seat, and then they laughed. And ever since that day, you decided, you know what, I'm no longer going to show up. I'm no longer going to stand up. And it's very difficult for me to present myself in boardrooms, in rooms where I so deserve to be there, because this is how people view me. They see me as a person who once spotted blood in a classroom. They see me as a person who's very weak, who doesn't understand herself, because she will show up at work with blood on her skirt, which is something that, we need to, society, we can do much better, and we are saying, let's just educate each other, be there for each other, support where we can. For instance, definitely. Right now within the SPA, we tried to make them affordable for our people because we know they are expensive.
Thank you, Osimpudi. Well, we all know that menstruation is the natural part of life. The reality is that many girls experience anxiety, embarrassment, and discomfort, like you say. But what is the important, partnership between corporates like SPA, schools, as well as the federations, because I see that most of your campaign is aligned to federation, assisting Netball South Africa with that?
Because of the stigma that is associated with menstrual health, the stigma that is associated with periods by their very nature, we decided it's very easier to actually get girls at their comfort. So when you want to talk, it's easier for you to talk in a relaxed environment as opposed to channeling young girls to say, when you are facing this, go to the Department of Social Development. When you are facing this kind of a crisis, go to your nearest clinic, because of the stigma that exists. But imagine an environment where there's no label of you walking in there and people can see that, oh, okay, she's walking slowly and she's going in that room. It then means she needs pads or she needs sanitary towels. So we make it easier for people to engage with us. We make containers available for these young girls. You can just grab a packet of a sanitary towel and use as and when they need, or to also support the next girl that they are aware they need the sanitary towel.
Okay.
So the court and the sporting ground becomes very easy access kind of field for us to talk to these young girls.
Oh, thank you very much, Osimpudi. You know, that was a massive information for our listeners. Thank you, Osimpudi. We're going on a break now. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Do you know the total number of Powerball winners in June are 4,001,000? Listen carefully. 4,152,822. And the total prize money won is over 530 million
The 2026 987 Women of Vision.
Power 987 celebrates extraordinary women leaders in society.
Hashtag 987 Women. We've got different women that will be hosting various shows here, Prof. And I just wonder, for a woman of vision, a woman who's in the science space, what are some of the challenges first, but also some of the highlights that you can speak to as a woman in science?
I think as a woman, and I'm sure you're aware that, women suffer from the imposter syndrome. We think they're not good enough. And the second thing they take is that there's a lot of structural and glass stealing effects. So those are the kind of things that I would tell women that are embarking on any career, is that often we don't take time to love ourselves.
We don't take time to love ourselves enough. I think that's a very important phrase that you have left us with, Prof. Professor Glenda Gray, National Research Foundation board member and fellow of the Royal Society, the United Kingdom's National Academy of Sciences.
Celebrating incredible women of vision.
The 2026 987 Women of Vision. Now, we're talking. 987 Women celebrates women who are actively shaping the future.
Now, we're talking.
Welcome back, Power Sports Extra. The SPA End Period Poverty campaign is aimed at addressing this challenge by providing support to young girls and raising awareness about the impact period poverty has on their education, health, and participation in activities such as sport. The campaign forms part of a broader global movement to ensure that girls and women have access to menstrual health resources and are not held back by something that is normal, natural, and it's also part of their lives.
Now we move into our next conversation, Kotatso, leading on the field at home. Women balancing leadership, sports, and motherhood. It affects every woman in the sports industry, especially the single parents, especially those who are married, every single woman. So many women serve as volunteers, administrators, and leaders in sports, often working behind the scene to create opportunities for others, while also balancing the responsibility of being full-time mothers. Wow.
Yeah,
I can
imagine.
tell you, I've been there, done that, and I'm still doing it.
I'm still wondering how you do
we
it.
explore the journey of a woman who lead in sport, the sacrifices they make, the challenges they face, and how they manage to balance their passion for growing the game and their responsibilities at home. Joining me for the conversation is none other than Dumisani Chauke. This woman, you'll just hear her with a loud, loud, loud laugh. For this woman is a friendly woman that I've ever met. Dumisani, listen to this one.
You didn't lie.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me on your show, Madam President.
Thank you, Dumisani. I am with Kotazo here. So,
Hi, Kenzie.
Thank you. And how are you?
I'm good. Thank you, ladies, for having me on your show.
Yes, Dumisani, now, we invited you just to have a conversation with you, especially you being a woman leading in sport. Your journey represents two important roles. You are a leader in sport and you are a mother. How have you navigated and balancing this responsibility? Maybe you are doing something different than I'm doing. Yes.
No, there is absolutely no balancing those two roles because both roles are equally important to me. But I think the most fulfilling one is that of being a mother. I think I always emphasize that I'm a mother first before all the other titles that I wear, because the titles will come and go, but being a mother will never go away. So I prioritize my kids, and then I manage everything else, the responsibility, the accountability that come with leadership, the sacrifices that we make on a daily basis as mothers, then that also then transfer to us as leaders, because motherhood is about sacrifice and leadership is also about sacrifice. So the two actually marry and they feed into each other. So I don't think I've ever been able to balance them, but it's a matter of prioritizing the one over the other and making sure that they work together.
No, that's true. That's true, Dumisani.
And, we've seen, like, in sports, a lot of leadership positions have traditionally been dominated by men. And, I just want to ask you, why is it important to have more women represented in the spaces of leadership?
Yeah, I think it's important that we have women in leadership positions, but not only just leadership, in decision-making positions, right? Because imagine now in a boardroom full of men and the discussion is about resource allocation for the sport, not necessarily for the gender. If there are no women taking their seats at that boardroom table, making decisions for women, no one is going to make decisions for us. Or we're going to have a situation or a system where decisions are made for us without us being involved. So I think it's important that we get women sitting at the tables negotiating on behalf of other women, because it's us as women that know our challenges, that know our obstacles, and know exactly what it is that we need as resources so we can also succeed.
Do you think the society still expect a woman to choose between career success and motherhood?
Yeah, absolutely. You hear things like, but you're not a mother. You're traveling a lot. What about your kids? As if the males don't have kids, but whenever they can travel and nothing happens. And I think sometimes if you are too ambitious as a woman, you are deemed to be selfish. But a male can be ambitious and everyone claps for him. I mean, if you can just imagine in a work environment, I've seen this happen before, where on a Monday afternoon, if a male says, no, he needs to leave work early because his kids are playing soccer, everyone claps for him. Yeah, you're a responsible dad. But if a woman does the same and say, listen, my kids are playing sport, I need to leave, they'll say, no, you don't know how to prioritize your work. So society still needs to change how it views women that are leaders and are decision makers in their workplaces.
Mm-hmm. No, that's true, Dumi. I know that you are involved, other than you being the director of coaches in Netball South Africa. You are involved in many programs. What challenges do you think women still face when trying to raise into leadership roles? within the sport. I mean, you've been there, done that, and obviously you have your own experience. It's not like you woke up and just got the position of director demarcation.
Director coaches.
Yes, director coaches.
Yes. No, well, some of the challenges that we still face, I mean, firstly, it's the whole stereotype of that we shouldn't be leading. And when you dare decide to be a leader, it's like you're being an overachiever. Why are you doing too much? You know, you should be humble. You should, be comfortable and be complacent with the little that you have. Another challenge that we still have is the eminent pay gap. The pay gap between males and females is still evident, and it's up to us to fix that and ensure that female athletes are well looked after, not only resource-wise, but financially, because we keep talking about the girl child making a living out of sport. But we need to empower the girl child that once they make a living out of sport, how do they sustain themselves beyond that? And also, things like training, leadership training for women, because oftentimes you get women appointed into positions, but it's a token appointment. They can't speak, they can't read, they can't make decisions, and that is just counterproductive. So I think we need to raise a different type of women leader for the future that are bold enough to make decisions, bold enough to take spaces, and bold enough to be themselves.
I like what you are saying, Dumisani. You know why I expect her to be in the kitchen? We are expected to be at home bathing the kids. That's what is expected of a woman. And oftentimes I will see that, there will be meetings arranged, top meetings at night where, as a woman during that time, you are expected to be cooking for your kids. So how do you navigate like that? Because with me, being a single parent, I know when my kids were young, I'll take them with. I will take them with to be present, because you have to be present all the time so as you can be able to count. How do you do that?
So the narrative that I usually share, or the story that I usually share, is that most of the time decisions are made either at a restaurant over drinks by men, or on the golf course, or while watching a soccer game on a Saturday or a Sunday or a rugby match. So
by the time you get to the real meeting,
when you get to the real meeting on Monday, they've already decided. When you think they're coming here to discuss? No, it was discussed on the golf course on Friday over drinks. And so we need to train ourselves to be in those spaces, to go and play golf, to go and watch the rugby match, to go and watch the football match, and be part of the conversation. So by the time Monday comes, it's not a surprise that, we are signing a sponsorship deal with so-and-so. You were there, you were part of it. And I think sometimes we might feel like it's us betraying ourselves or going over and above. But unfortunately, for us to have a foot in there, in being part of the boys' club, that's what I call it, the boys' club.
Yeah.
We have to go where the boys are meeting. If it's a meeting that happens at night, you need to be there. If it's on the golf course, let's go play golf. That's why more and more women are playing golf.
Woman power, girl. Woman power. What do you think, Khutazo?
Well, Dume, we really thank you for your insight. For us, we wouldn't have an opportunity to be talking to young girls if it wasn't for people like you who are in the forefront, trying to strike the balance between motherhood and leadership. On top of the hour, we're going on a break.
have spoken about creating opportunities for young girls, breaking barriers and ensuring more women have a place in sport. But as we close off today's conversation, we also need to look at the challenges that women continue to face, both on and off the field, from access to opportunities, safety, leadership representation, and recognition. Women in sport continue to navigate challenges that impact their ability to participate, compete, and lead. Khothatso.
You know, Mommy, women continue to prove that they belong in every sporting space as athletes, as coaches, as administrators, leaders, and as mothers. But there's still work to be done in creating an environment where women are given equal opportunities and are protected and are supported. You know, joining us on this important conversation, we have the Deputy Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture and Recreation, Peace Mabi. Welcome to Power Sports Extra.
Mepis, are you with us? Our honorable, beautiful minister. Minister? Minister, are you with us?
As we are awaiting the Deputy Minister online, just, you know, today we will unpack the realities women facing in sport, including limited access, safety concern, gender-based violence, media coverage, and breaking barriers in spaces that have traditionally been dominated by men. And also, we will explore what needs to change and the role that the government and sporting organizations and society must play in building a more inclusive environment, future for women and girls. You know, so this topic is of importance because, you know, when we talk about challenges being faced by women, safety is one of the concerns, because you find young girls not being able to partake in sport because they don't feel safe.
Yes.
So it will really be important to hear from the Deputy Minister what measures are in place, what can be done. You know, how do we encourage a young girl to really be free and partake in sport?
That's true, Khothatso. You know, another challenge is media coverage and visibility, especially for women sports. You know, women's sports often receive less coverage, but I must say that netball is well covered, but fewer commercial opportunities and less public attention compared to men's sport. Media representation plays an important role in growing audiences, attracting sponsors and inspiring the next generation. And we are still waiting for the minister, but I think she is on the line. Our beautiful minister, Peace Mabi. Minister, how are you?
I love it when people say that I'm beautiful.
Beauty.
I love that compliment. I will tell you why. My younger sister's name is Pretty.
Oh, yes.
So you could imagine the competition that I had to survive for many years. And every time people would want to compare us. But this one, she's a real beauty. You know, her name says it all because her name is Pretty. So thank you. I love it when people say that I'm beautiful.
You are, girl.
Thank
you are. Minister, you are with Mami Diale, President of Netball South Africa. I'm on the other seat now. I am with Khothatso Montjane.
Thank you so much. Good evening.
Good evening, Deputy Minister. Good evening and welcome. And just to get onto it, you know, we're tackling the topic of the challenges facing women in sport. But, you know, I'm just going to go straight into access and development. How important is investment in facilities, coaching and development programs to ensure that talent from all communities has opportunity to succeed?
Well, thank you very much. I think access remains a major challenge, particularly for girls in rural areas and previously disadvantaged areas and townships. And generally in many communities, young girls simply do not have access to safe sporting facilities. They don't have access to equipment, and in the main, just transport to enable them from moving from their homes and to sporting fields. That becomes the major challenge, because you would know that townships and rural areas do not have the luxury of accessible sporting facilities. And I think one of the main challenges, Memami will also agree with me, is that we don't have qualified coaches as well.
True.
So for as long as we don't have qualified coaches to nurture talent, there's no way that we can professionalize our women's sports.
And Deputy Minister, I mean, I see what from your infrastructure side, what you guys try to do with the infrastructure, trying to, erect facilities in those disadvantaged areas. But more often when I'm out there and I ask young girls around, like, why they don't seem to be more interested in sport, and I found them, raising an issue of safeguarding. And I would just like to know that as you are laying those facilities out there, what is it that, as the government, you're doing to make sure that the young girls, are encouraged to go and play sport and feel safe at the same time?
Safety becomes and remains one of the main challenges. You would not want to expose yourself to danger in the name of sports. And crime, it is happening everywhere, and even in developed countries, you can just be unfortunate that crime can happen. But I think that communities should come together and firstly protect the facilities that we build. Because once we do that, then there will be respect for those who are also participating in those facilities.
No, that's true.
And you know that we are currently fighting GBV, general violence against women in particular in this country. So it's a concerted effort that all of us must work together in creating safety in our communities.
No, that's true, Minister. We're still celebrating women in sports. And we look up to you as a leader, as having a voice for women. And, women are increasingly taking part in leadership roles, but representation remains a challenge. Why is it important to have a woman in decision-making positions, people like you? Why is it important?
It is very important because when you get elected as a woman,
yes,
you first have to declare that this position it is not my position.
Yes,
but I am going to use this position to be the voices of the voiceless, which is the women.
I love it.
So as an activist, you need to first understand that and really live to that, and never go to bed without making sure that you resolve or you unite women. That is very important. And make women understand that we are not enemies, but our enemy is patriarchy. It's laws that are not protecting us, and it is us not participating in the economy and being forever sidelined, in important decision-making boardrooms, and also being sidelined, especially in sports, in terms of us not being given the relevant funding. So as women leaders, it's important that we need to go out there and educate, especially those that are in strategic executive positions as well. They must know and live what Meshalot Matleke once said, that this work, it is not yours, but it belongs to the people. And when you rise, you have a responsibility to rise with others.
That's so powerful, Minister. That's so super true. And how do we encourage and support more women to move into roles such as coaches, administrative, leadership roles, and executive? I mean, we are looking for so many sports leaders, but there's so much limitation. We don't see a lot of women leading in this space, especially sports.
Well, I think the more we promote women's sports, that is the only way that young women will be alive to the fact that there are opportunities in sport. The media must take the leading role in making sure that when women's sports is being hosted, irrespective, it should be elevated and given the same opportunity like we do in men's sports. We must also call for budgets that are women biased across all sections. And because I represent sports as well, we must fight for budgets that are women biased. So when we present our budget in Parliament, Portfolio Committee must say, okay, we hear you, but then identify programs that are going to elevate women in sports and women in culture.
True.
Then in that way, it will then raise awareness for those who are responsible for developing budgets to say, over and above what we've been allocated, we need to give a certain percentage to women development. So that is the key important responsibility of women leaders. That's what we need to do as women leaders.
And Deputy Minister, talking about, elevating women, promoting women, making sure that they are well taken as much as the males have been taken care of. I just want to engage you on this situation whereby the male-dominated sports are more celebrated, even if they don't deliver the maximum results in this country, and that doesn't happen a lot to women in sport. How do we change that habit, whereby even if our women are not doing well, we still show them support, we still show them courage that they can do better next time. But with the men's, I mean, we are so forefront to putting them out there whether they do well or not.
Look, it's patriarchy. And how we are wired, we just have to think differently and do things differently. We need to love and appreciate the contribution that others are doing, because it is the very same women, in their majority, when those clubs are playing, they wear their nice crop tops and put on their makeups and, dress out beautifully and go and support those clubs or those sporting codes I would not want to mention. But you would look, in terms of support, that 60% of stadiums get filled by women. So the mindset should be that if you support men's soccer, you should also be alive to the fact that there is women's soccer. And when they play, let's have this thing at the club and say, okay, for start, we've introduced that to say when Banyana play in South Africa, women must go there. Chomi, let's get another one and then take our cooler boxes and go and have fun, support the team. So we're looking forward to that. We've been preaching that. We've been talking to executives, women in the corporate, to say that it is high time that when Banyana play in South Africa, I'm just trying to single out Banyana because of the current situation. When they play, we need to really make sure that they are there. But over and above that, as government, we've made a commitment to say we will then also bus children from school, young children from school, and the aged, those that are at home and have retired, to fill those seats. It's our responsibility that we bus them and we expose them to the women's sports, because one of the main challenge is that women's sports in South Africa, it is not as exposed as male sports. And it is not professionalized because there is no proper funding for the sport.
How do we get it right?
Corporate must come on board.
How does the government encourage corporate to come on board? Because this is becoming a long-lasting challenge that women in sport has to face. I mean, we've seen the government was able to cough 30 million for the supporters to go. We have our women in Morocco right now, and we see a limited support from South Africans on the stands. So how do we go about, managing this thing and making sure that women in sport feel encouraged to really represent this country with pride?
Well, I agree and take full responsibility that Banyana they are playing in Morocco, and there is just less and if not or little support that the department has committed. And I have fought for this for this program Banyana Banyana for these games Banyana Banyana to be supported, and we said because 30 million was spent, I would not want to compete and say because 30 million was spent. The 30 million can still be used for better use in the country. But we've resolved today that we will have fun type parts in different areas, especially to honor Khatlani. She has made us proud, and also the captain. So those are the two areas that we have resolved that we will definitely have fun parks and get people to come and enjoy the women's soccer. But over and above, I've also discussed with the captain and the leadership of Banyana Banyana to say that because this is a qualifying match for the World Cup, let us not invest more on entertainment. Let's reserve the little that we have, because we are women, you know, we are considerate. We sat around the table.
Well, I definitely agree that, you know, the 30 million was spent on supporters, while the athletes on the ground are really suffering a real pain of just trying to make this country pride. I really concur with you that it would have been channeled to maybe development or supporting our elite to really make sure that, you know, we nurture sport in this country, as we know it brings us together. So on that one, I definitely concur with you.
Remember, it is still a discussion in Parliament. The minister still has to come before Parliament. It was tabled in Parliament for the department to then present a report. So out of the report, there are also good things that can be applauded. But I'm saying that because we are women, we had to sit down and say, do we really need to copy the model of Bafana Bafana at this stage? Yes, we need the hype. We want people to know about Banyana Banyana representing the country in WAFCON. But this is a qualifying match for the World Cup. Let's wait later and create the same hype and take the same model that we used to celebrate Bafana Bafana when they were going to represent us to the World Cup. But the little that we have, we want to invest it to the players. So
and hopefully this is not a Banyana crisis only. We had our team in the Commonwealth also. I mean, we need to try find a model that really accommodates everyone. I was just giving Banyana as an example because they are currently the ones in Morocco competing. But it would really be nice that when you are in Parliament and addressing these issues, we look at, you know, a broader spectrum of women in sport in this country. I think, Mami, as a president of the netball.
Yes, Minister, thank you very much. You know, I'm happy that we're touching on this topic, although, you know, this is something that we need to talk about openly. Obviously, we look up to you, especially as a woman representing other women in sport and speaking, being the voice, like you say, a voice for another woman. And definitely we do believe that, you know, there will be programs in place that will be your initiative where all women come together and discuss issues that affects them, you know, in sport. And also we know, I mean, we have the World Cup in 2027, Netball World Cup. We do believe that we will be having the same hype that, you know, the soccer was having, because we have a beautiful rollout plan where we will be campaigning for the road to Sydney. And definitely we know that you are always in the forefront when it comes to netball, assisting us, supporting us, and being part of that initiative. So, Minister, what do you think, you know, women should do to come together? Any initiative, you know, from your end? The last time I checked, there was a golf program or something where we will discuss about issues like this.
Women must be aggressive in their approach. The time is now.
Yes.
And thank you very much, Osmani, for the kind reflection, and also for encouraging me and acknowledging that, you know, there's energy and there is willingness from the side of the ministry as well. Indeed, it is not an easy battle to fight, but we need women. Women must unite. Women must speak about.
Fight for us.
Women must speak about issues that make men feel uncomfortable.
Yes,
You know, when you speak about, I will make an example, the non-payment of women when they went to Morocco the first time, where they had to protest. You could see that people feel irritated.
Yes.
And I also want to be on record saying that when you speak about sensitive issues in all different sporting codes, you get sidelined. You go to an international game, they all switch off their phones just to show you that kuphethe thina la. So you must just have inhliziyo yebhokadi, to wear bhokadi and say, wait, even if you can do that, I will never stop talking about this thing. So women who are representing us in those federations, talk truth to power. Do not celebrate when you are being welcomed in the men's club, because one day they're gonna turn against you.
Yes.
Represent other women. Learn to be the voice of the voiceless.
Most
So
definitely.
that is where we need to start. Those that are in strategic positions in all federations across, put pressure. It cannot be Peace Mabe alone doing that. I will not win this battle. And at some point, we must agree, as women of South Africa, we just have to march, and raise our voices, especially against SAFA. It's enough is enough. Equal pay to all players. Soccer, netball are the oldest sports women in this country. Why are there still salary disparities? Why are we not getting the same support? Those that are sponsoring the male counterparts, they must also sponsor the females. They must also acknowledge that as much as we give money to Bafana, there's also Banyana.
Yes.
So either we go 50-50 or we close shop.
Yes.
So that is very important. So those are the campaigns that we must lead as women. And when we do that, we need the media to amplify everything that has been said, because without the media, there's no way that we can win this battle.
Most
So
definitely.
I must tell you, this is some of the things that I say here. They are very uncomfortable, and people don't want them to be elevated, to be openly spoken about. But it is a risk that one should take, and understand that when I open my mouth, it has to be about uplifting and empowering other women.
Amandla.
And Deputy Minister, your voice, your efforts are not going unseen. And we really appreciate you for joining us tonight and giving us an insight of, how we can go about fighting for women in sport in this country. And we're just going to go on a break.
This Women's Month, Power 987 proudly presents Women of Vision, a celebration of women whose leadership continues to shape business, government, society, and our nation. Join us from the 6th to the 7th of August as Women of Power take over the station. Hashtag 98744.
987 Women of Vision is proudly brought to you in partnership with South African National Defence Force, the Department of Economic Development, Momentum, and the Department of Human Settlements. Hashtag 987 Women of Vision. Now we're talking. Your call on 0861 987 000.
Thank you very much. We're still on Power Extra. We're still on Power Woman. We're talking about women in sports, the challenges that they are facing. Online, we have General Brenda. General Brenda, I'm just afraid to mention your surname, and I'll find that I'm not mentioning it well. How are you, Director of Sports?
Hello, ma'am. I'm fine, and you? But it's General Brenda Mutungu from the South African National Defence Force.
Oh, Brenda, how are you?
I'm okay, and you, my dear?
I am with Kotazo Munzwani. How can we help you?
Yes, ma'am. I'm happy with the conversation that you are having, but I wanted to add my 2 cents worth on your conversation. We were talking about women in sport. So as the Director of Physical Training, Sport and Recreation in the military, in the Defense Force, I felt like maybe I would have to mention some of the things that you've been talking about. As women in sport, we have many challenges, and your speakers previously tried to, talk about them. But firstly, maybe let me say, it's for the military, it's not proper that I speak after the minister has spoken. I hope you understand it. But
yes, I understand that protocol. Yeah.
Yes, I'll have to say, Minister, I really appreciate you, ma'am. Unfortunately, I have to speak after you. But we've been touching on women in sport, but the other challenge that we always sometimes neglect is the women who are married, but also in sport. Remember, we complain about men who always have meetings after working hours, and we are struggling with it. But also, we spoke about, and I appreciate it, ma'am, when you spoke about single women, who raise kids.
Yes.
But also talk about women who are married with these men that always have meetings. But I'm always surprised that these men, they always have females, they are married. But there are women, maybe allow them to go to those meetings after hours, but it's normal in our environment that men do as they please. But now with us who are married, and then you have your husband with you, but when you have to go to those after hours meetings, they see it as if maybe you want to be with men after hours and so forth.
Yeah.
Maybe we must also try to teach our men to say, as females, we are good to do this job. But if meetings allow us or maybe demand us to be in meetings after hours, the men who married these women like us, they must also understand that we're going there not because we want to be with those men, but the meetings were called after hours, we have to be there. And also we must be able to reprimand these men to say, if we are working hours is until 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, and maybe there's a meeting that demands us to be there, not that we don't want to be there, but demands us to be there after hours, then our husbands also, they must be able to allow us to go to those meetings so that, sports can progress. We have enormous sports women and men who wants to be in those meetings, but especially for women, can we please address that also in these conversations that we are having? It's not that we know we are under pressure with these men who always have meetings, the boys out bribe and whatever, and they neglect us that we have to look after the kids. You must keep, crutches closes at 6 o'clock, my lady, and then we have to rush home to get those kids. We have to cook. But if meetings are presented after hours, also we must try to teach our female colleagues that are married to say their men need to understand that there are meetings after hours. I hope I make sense, my lady.
Very much for that comment. You're making sense. Woman remains woman. Whether you are single, whether you are married, if you are a woman in sport, you need to be given opportunity to be able to lead. And you need that support from a husband, from your partner. Definitely, that's one of the subjects that we need to speak about, because a woman remains a woman leading in sport.
Rory Sang in Pretoria. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good evening, ladies, and happy Women's Day in advance to
Thank
both
you so
of
much.
you.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. Ke dipotso tsa me ke a go di botsa ka Setswana, engwe ke tla go botsa ka Sepedi. Re ke simolola ka ya Setswana. Mediale re mo utlwile motlatsa tona a tlhalosa ka mokgwa ile gore batsadi tshwantse ba thusiwe, ba sireletsiwe mo metshamekong e farologane e ba e dirang. Yaanong ne ke batla go botsa gonne ne le buisana le ena ka mo letlhakoreng la bolo tloa ke eng se ba se dirile gore ba re bontshe gore jaaka puso ba tshegetsa motshameko wa bolo tloa gonne le ga jaanong ga ise re nne le le league ya professional e leng gore ya tshameka re tshwanna bontsi jwa batshameki ba rona ba tshameke ka di-period tse di farologane ga rena a professional league e leng gore ya tshameka ke potso ya ntlha e nka e tlogelang mo go wena mme potso ya bobedi gape ka 2023 ne re fitlhetse ntlha ya gore re tla nna le gatwe keng a netball arena ba tsamaya ko kae jaaka puso go e baakanya. Last question ke a go isa ko go wena KG o moraloki wa tennis. How many other women who are in the country that are living with disabilities are thriving in sport for tennis? Thank you very much.
Rorisang, good one, because our next guest, it's all about tennis. So if you just hold on a little bit, we're going to explore it even more. But Mami can really engage you on your two questions on netball.
Oh, thank you, Ntate Rorisang, le go bua Setswana se se tlhapileng. But for the purpose of our listeners, I will just say to you, Ntate Rorisang, netball is growing, netball is going to a higher level. There are plans in place for netball, especially for us to plan and prepare towards the semi-professional league. One thing that I can say, I don't want to spoil the fun, is, all our supporters that are part of netball community, they must just watch the space. Everything will fall together into space while we are preparing for that. And as for the arena, Ntate Rorisang, the matter is still with government. I won't comment on that one. Thank you. We are going for a break.
2026 987 Women of Vision.
Power 987 celebrates extraordinary women leaders in society.
Our business Power 987 Women Edition Takeover. They let Mfundo Velakazi, our People and Culture Director from Discam, and myself, Megan de Vroeg, the CMO, take over the airwaves. I did say to them they are very brave to let non-professionals on air. Pumlela Ndo, the Client Director at Excelsior Capital. Let's start with the RAND and the JSE. How did the JSE's all-share index close at the end of today's trading session? And which sectors, stocks or market developments were the biggest drivers of the index's performance?
Thank you, Megan, for the question. But before I answer the questions, Megan, your company owes me a lot of this money. I'm glad Roy's here.
Oh gosh, and you're standing right outside because he's our next guest.
Celebrating incredible women of vision.
The 2026 987 Women of Vision. Now we're talking. You're listening to 987 Women.
Celebrating incredible women of vision.
We are still on Power Sport Extra. Remember, our studio line is 0861 987 000. On Twitter at Power FM 987. Our show hashtag Power Sport Extra, hashtag 987 Women. Facebook, Power 98.7. WhatsApp line 083 303 7093. Our next speaker, it's Bruce Davison. It's all about tennis now. I think now I'm about to speak my language. Our next conversation takes us into the tennis court as we look at representation, access and breaking barriers for young girls in sport. For many young girls, the dream of picking up a tennis racket and competing starts with having the right opportunities and the right access. But talent alone, it's not enough. Access to facilities, coaching, equipment, and development programs often determines whether a young athlete gets a chance to grow and reach their full potential. Today, we explore the barriers that prevent many young girls from entering a progressing stage in tennis. Why representation matters. Why we need to be done. What needs to be done in sport like tennis to be more inclusive and accessible across South Africa. Joining us in this conversation, tennis analyst, commentator, a PR guru. We all know him from Spa Races, Spa Netball,
Yes.
the one and only Bruce Davison. Welcome to the show, Bruce.
This is so exciting. Thank you so much for having me. I'm delighted to have joined this conversation. I'm passionate about women's sport, passionate about women's sport development, and I just think that this is just such a fitting show for Women's Month.
I, for one, I am so obsessed with representation, and I'm sure you'll understand why. So, Bruce, when we talk about growing tennis among young girls, why is representation such an important part of this conversation?
Well, I think representation is twofold. First of all, I think in South Africa, we definitely need to make sure that the wider community that hasn't been serviced in the past is given opportunity to play tennis, for instance. We see in netball, it's such a big sport. It's the biggest women's sport in South Africa, and there is such an opportunity for netball players. But women's tennis has never really, to me, and in all my years that I've worked in South African tennis and consulted for South African tennis, we haven't hit the important elements of developing champions in the women's space. And I can't understand it, because I saw the other day a very interesting stat. The most people that watch tennis on TV in South Africa are black women. Now, if they are the biggest audience, and that was taken across Wimbledon, WTA tournaments, French Open, US Open, and Australian Open, where are those women on the tennis court, or where are they in the stands watching Davis Cup, watching challenges, etc., etc.? There's definitely got to be some effort now to capitalize on the stats that are at hand.
Well, we apologize for the background noise on Bruce. And I concur with you. For one, I was shocked. First time I went to Wimbledon to be let know that I'm the first black South African woman to ever compete at Wimbledon. People will say I should celebrate that. But to me, it came as a shock. I kept asking myself, what happened to the people before me? And even today, you mention all the big tournaments, and you look at us in this country. I'm still the only one who's still holding it on the forefront for women in tennis, and I keep wondering, how are we gonna go about, changing that narrative? But I hear you. How powerful is it for young girls to see women succeeding in tennis and believing that they can to achieve their goals?
Well, I think that, I was very blessed to work with a top tennis player from South Africa in the past. She got to number 3 in the world, Amanda Coetzee. And Amanda Coetzee, for most of her career, was in the top 10 of the world. Now, in those days, the young girls had a hero to look up to, someone that they could see who was a South African, who came from a little town called Hoopstad in the Free State and made it big. She was only a couple of, she really was short. She only wore a size 3.5 shoe, but she still was able to compete against the Serena Williams, the Maria Sharapovas, and the likes. Now, that to me is also very important, because I think, KG, you as a great wheelchair tennis star have inspired a lot of wheelchair tennis players. Let's just not say women, but men as well. And we've seen you lead the front. Heroes are very important in sport. And a lot of the youth who are playing a sport, it doesn't only have to be tennis, try to aspire to be like the heroes. And South Africa just has, since that golden era of Wayne Ferreira, Amanda Coetzee, and the likes, they haven't really produced, other than KG, top women tennis players. The one thing that was very, very much in their favor many years ago was the super squad system. And I always think that when I look at the success of the Australians, the Czech women players, the Americans, they have the super squad system where the top players are identified early. They are put into a squad system which takes them around the world with coaches to play in all the tournaments that give them the world ranking points and help them get up the world ranking. There's no doubt we have some players in South Africa that should be much better than they are on the world ranking. But because of opportunities and because South Africa is so far away from the rest of the world, we haven't got enough tournaments in South Africa. It makes it almost impossible for a young girl child to be able to get world ranking points, whether it's ITF points or WTA points, and get up the ranking. I just fail to believe that a country like Turkey has got international tournaments, 62 women's world ranking tournaments in a year. And South Africa has probably got about 5 or 6. Now, it just doesn't make sense because Turkey is not producing any champions. But they've got all these tournaments and opportunities for their players. So it's something that really has to be looked at. But I suppose, KG, and we all know this magic word, it's all about finance. It's all about money. And the more money that one has, and if it's managed properly, the more you can do and develop.
No, that's true, Bruce. For many young girls, the dream of becoming a tennis player can be limited, by factors beyond talent and passion. Access, men, to courts, equipment, quality coaching, funding, and competitive opportunities like you are indicating. What are some of the biggest barriers preventing young girls from accessing tennis in South Africa?
Well, I think one of the big problems is that we don't have the proper facilities, safe facilities in the areas where these young girls are. And I'm finding that in tennis, more tennis courts every month of every year are turning into netball courts. So what is happening is tennis is losing, and I'm very involved in netball, and I'm seeing this, and it breaks my heart. But netball has seen a tennis club an opportunity. A tennis club has got 6 courts. It's got a clubhouse. Nobody's playing tennis. It's not been promoted at the club level. And the dynamics have also changed. We must remember in the olden days, and when we talk olden days, I don't want to go back too far back, but we never had the opportunities or the variety of entertainment that we've got now. Shopping centres are open all the time. Movies are open all the time. Kids' parties take place Saturdays and Sundays. People have a very limited time to play social tennis and to do the club thing. And it's happening in all sports. So tennis has got to start being very much creative. The one thing South Africa's got, which is an incredible opportunity, is we have the second biggest junior tournament program in the world. There are tournaments all over South Africa, every single school holidays, giving any children, whether it's red dot ball, it's under 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, there's so many tournaments, and there's great opportunity. We also have 1,800 registered coaches. And if you're a registered coach, you've got to have quite a few pupils to make a living. So I don't know where the missing links are here, because we have the coaches, we've got the beautiful weather, we just need to get facilities and out to I actually don't know what the answer is, because there is so much going for us, but nothing's been done. And I'm very, very concerned about it.
South Africa has a lot of talented young athletes, and probably they are capable of developing future champions. But like you mentioned, it does require investment and all that. And I hear what you're saying, Bruce, with the coaches and all the young ones out there, because I don't think I can help you to answer that, but we don't know if for the coaches, is it all about getting the money and paying the bills, or is there a passion of producing new champions for this country? But my next question to you, what role can organizations, sponsors and leaders in sport play in creating more opportunities for girls to be more involved in a sport like tennis?
Well, I think, the economy is so tough in South Africa that sponsorships are difficult to come by. And sponsors that do invest still into sport, it's a total business. we must know that whatever goes in, they want 6 times to come out. So federations like Tennis South Africa and all the provincial associations must really run tennis like a business. Because unless you can get professional and you can get smart in the way you're thinking, you're not going to grow the sport. And tennis has not changed over the years. You know, cricket was needing to do something, and they introduced the T20. Netball was needing to do something, and they introduced Fast 5. So tennis has never really changed, KG. You and I know the court stays the same. Everything stayed the same. The only thing that's changed tennis is a big threat called paddle. And all of a sudden, paddle came in. And all the tennis players that weren't playing tennis, all of a sudden now are playing paddle. I just can't believe what's going on in paddle. And it's just everybody's playing paddle. But where were they when they played tennis? And they're all loving paddle. I mean, there was that big international tournament in Pretoria last weekend. It was sold out. Thousands of people went to watch paddle. So tennis has lost a lot because of paddle. Squash, funny enough, which I also work in, has gained because you can play against the wall in squash. So they've gained members. But we now have to remember that paddle is a great sport, but it's not also a sport for black people out there. It's too expensive. And that's a big problem because that's where our talent and our growth is. I know, and you and I know, KG, that if we had to really do a good program in Atteridgeville, in Soweto, in Umlazi, in Langa, in Cape Town, we are going to find a player. We're going to find a couple of players because in wheel tennis we found plenty of players. In fact, the white wheelchair tennis players couldn't compete against the black ones because they were the best. Limpopo produced champions. And it was unbelievable how that generation of players was done from a very young, early age when you started, and it's continued to grow. It's a very, very difficult thing, but tennis is a very expensive sport. Rackets are expensive. Maintenance of courts are expensive. And you can't just play it on just any surface. You can kind of, but it's got to bounce well in order to give it a fair chance. In order to do. It's not like netball.
Yeah, most definitely, Bruce. I mean, as you're speaking, I mean, I'm starting to feel a huge sense of responsibility, you know, over my shoulder, but also for someone like you too, because you've been involved in this sport for a longest time, you know, and I think we're supposed to be asking you, you know, your insight on how we can change some of the things. But like I'm saying, for one, as I'm sitting here, I'm starting to feel a huge sense of responsibility on what needs to be done. But you know, it's gonna take you know, platforms like this for us to really, you know, paint a clear picture of what a sport like tennis it's lacking in this country. And yeah, because if we don't get it right, a young girl, you know, in the disadvantaged area won't have access and opportunity to purely play sports like tennis. So I'm really thankful on the point that you really bringing in. But you know, I think the listeners, hopefully the government, corporate is listening out there, the cry that we making for us to really create those opportunities and give access to a young black girl out there to be able to take part in a sport like tennis. I know, for one, I live those challenges every day. I know it's not easy. I know how expensive it is for us to compete. I know flights, accommodation, entry fees, it's thousand and rands, and sometimes I feel like you scare people when you like support me to be able to do this. But I really hope a platform like this, where you know, those people who are responsible, or they can feel a sense of supporting, you know, to make sure that we change the state of tennis in this country, can, you know, come forward. And yeah, we see how we can give access and opportunities to a young girl who wishes to be a KG, a Serena Williams, a Coco Gauff. You never know, but I believe, you know, we have a lot of young talented athletes in this in this country. I mean, Mommy who's been speaking netball, and we see all these programs that are going around in the country. You know, from TSTV challenges, you know, like you were saying about there's another competition going on. So we really wish we have something like this for the young girls in this country.
Yeah, Khothatso, I think commitment is important and planning as well. You know, I think Tennis Federation needs to come with new programs, like Bruce is saying. We had Fast Five and we're introducing new programs. Hey, Bruce, and how important is tennis, you know, active at school and as well as community? You know, probably it starts there. We always say, you know, development, it starts at grassroots level. What do you think needs to be done to make sure that a young child is given that opportunity now to be introduced into playing tennis at a young age?
Well, you know, the thing is, I mean, we know, for instance, that there are thousands of juniors playing. If you go to a junior tennis tournament, it's going to be between 500 and 600 kids.
Yeah.
And these are happening in the holidays all the time, whether it's in Potch, whether it's in Joburg, whether it's in Cape Town. Now, my problem is there are big numbers of under 10, under 12, under 14, under 16 girls playing tennis.
Okay.
But when they turn 18, what is there for them? This is the challenge.
Okay.
So for netball, you also have that challenge, but you have got varsity netball.
Yes.
You've got opportunities where girls can go and study and still continue to play netball and DNL. A girl child that plays tennis, she knows that when she turns 18, it's in South Africa, there isn't anything. And they've got to start creating almost like a circuit of good tournaments that inspire the girls to continue to play tennis. A lot of girl tennis players are lost at the age of 16, 17. And also globally, if you want to be a top tennis player, KG will tell you, you've got to have made it by 16 almost. That's when you have to know. But the problem is, why stop tennis if you can't make it? You could still play competitively and socially as long as there's a structure or an environment in which you'll enjoy playing. And if that's not set up, then it's going to be a no-brainer. Then that girl child's going to go and play netball or another sport.
Yeah.
Well, Bruce, let us thank you for your time and insight on these, pressing topics. But just before I let you go, what message would you give to a young girl who dreams of becoming a tennis player but feels like the sport is out of reach?
Never give up on your dream. I know it's cliche, I know people, but if you believe that you can be a tennis player, you've got to create an opportunity for yourself. Don't rely on too many people to do it for you. Hard work will get you there. Gary Player said, the harder you work, the luckier you get. And we know that not everybody's got the opportunity, but there are avenues of help that you can source. The girl child that puts the effort in to getting help and to get the best possible support will be given the chance. She mustn't give up on her dream.
Thank you so much as we go on a break.
Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you so much.
The Vaccination program against foot and mouth disease. Vaccination alone is not enough. The outbreaks are reported, the disease will continue to spread. Farms of converters is originated and assigned to protect other farms and livestock markets. Foot and mouth disease can spread quickly between animals and farms with biosecurity and conformity that cannot comply with. By reporting suspected cases early, farmers have the ability to tackle spread of the disease by applying higher areas for interventions and with nearby livestock. Do your part. Help curb the spread of foot and mouth disease. Report any suspicious symptoms immediately to your local state veterinarian or animal health solution. This message is brought to you by the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development.
You're listening to 987 Women,
celebrating incredible women of vision.
Welcome back on Power Sport Extra. Victoria from Pretoria, welcome.
Good evening. You know what? I've been listening to your conversation. Thank you so very much. But I need us to perhaps use an example of Serena and Venus Williams' father. very poor family. His determination to make his daughters champions is now in full view of the world. So perhaps we have to revise our view that men can also be barriers because of Serena and Venus's father. The other thing that I think I need to also highlight is the issue of clubs. I know that my two sons, who have been very good swimmers, and were very good in water polo, could not at all circumvent the barriers that clubs have. That is why we don't see even a single swimmer from other groups. Is it possible, perhaps, that some of these clubs are forming a barrier? I'm just asking a question. I'm not making any judgment. And finally, my concern has to do with protective things. Like there is the belief that, for example, netball later in life, just like the gymnasium, make the players have very serious knee problems. What precautions are we taking to make sure that the future does not disadvantage the players? Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Victoria, for your call. I think it's platforms like this where we address this kind of issues. You know, we seek for advices. I ourselves, being women involved in sports, we are also seeking advices and insight in issues like that. So that is why today we are here to have conversation with the Deputy Minister, other experts to really, you know, stretch this thing within it so that we all understand what are the limitations, what can we do better, and hopefully I feel like as a country we're making baby steps in sport. We just have to be a little patient and put our head down and keep working towards greater solutions to our own problems. What do you think, Mami?
That's true, Khothatso. You know, I believe in working together and all about access and inclusion. You know, transformation took us long in South Africa, you know, for the sports to transform. And we still on that battle of transformation and access, you know, especially for women. I mean, we are being perceived to be in the kitchen. We are supposed to be at home, staying with children. And here we are, me and you, in a radio station.
Yes.
I mean, speaking women in sports, the leaders in sports, Khothatso.
And you know what? You know what? Shout out to Girls Sports. Tomorrow they are hosting the awards, most definitely for women and girls. G-Sport Awards, big up to you. Happy birthday for 20 years, making sure that women in sports remains relevant.
Oh, yes. We are saying forward with the woman. You know, Mosadi Utshwara Thipa ka fa bogaleng. So definitely women power, women in sports, all about inclusion. Let us move forward, all for the sports.
From us to you,
oh,
we are
yes,
out.
yes, we are out. Weekend special.